It's been 4 years. 4 years since I started taking exogenous ketones. And today, we're going to talk about it. So let's talk about how I even got started on ketones in the first place. This goes back to the beginning of 2017. At the time, I was nearing the end of my journey as a Beachbody coach. I did that for over 2 years, and for the most part, I really enjoyed it. It helped keep me accountable, but I hated every other aspect of it. I was mentally checked out, I was drained, and I just did not want to do that anymore. So, while being in that mindset of wanting to make a big change, I also was in the process of still dealing with irritable bowel syndrome. I had been diagnosed with irritable bowel syndrome when I was 15. At the time, I think I was dealing with it about 9 years, and I feel like I had just tried everything that I possibly could try to help make it go away or ease symptoms, and it's awful to deal with. If you're someone who has never had irritable bowel syndrome, like, you're so lucky you've never had to deal with that. But if you're someone who has that or some digestive issue, it's embarrassing, and it very much affects your entire life. You're constantly being stressed out about where you're going in public, where's the restroom, what's going to happen if I eat this, what's going to happen if I eat that, what if I eat too slow, what if I eat too fast, what if I drink the wrong thing. Everyone obviously is affected differently, so things that set me off are maybe not the same things that set someone else off, but it very much affected my entire freaking life. And this was the beginning of my high school years. Luckily, I never dealt with it too much at school, but people can be very disrespectful about it. So anyways, dealing with all of that, I had a colonoscopy, I had scans, I had blood work, I had a HIDA scan, I had a small bowel follow through. Any type of test that you can think of, I probably had, trying to figure out what was wrong with me. For those of you that don't know, irritable bowel syndrome is basically just the diagnosis that they give you when they can't find anything else wrong with you. It's like the process of elimination. Like, it's not X, it's not Y, it's not Z, so we're just gonna throw this at you. How are we gonna cure it? I don't know. There is no cure. So obviously that's very frustrating. If I absolutely have to take something, then obviously I will, but I don't want to put anything into my body that I absolutely don't have to put there. So I tried to avoid medications for the longest time possible. I did have Lamodal that I could take if I absolutely needed it, and I hated having to take it because if I had flare-ups back-to-back days, then I was going to have to take 2 pills to get it to stop instead of just 1, and I didn't want to build up a tolerance. I didn't want to go down that path. Long story short, I ended up trying more natural things. So I tried probiotics, I tried peppermint oil, and at the time, peppermint oil was the best thing that I found. It was an enteric-coated form of peppermint oil. Peppermint oil is like a natural soother, calmer, helps you relax, and I noticed that was really helpful for me with my irritable bowel syndrome because the more stressed and anxious that I was, or if I was around my period, the worse my symptoms were. And it didn't make it go away, but it helped to ease the symptoms and make it more bearable. At that time, I was taking that, and I was also still taking my Lamodal when I had to. I was starting to research just different things that I possibly could try. Like, what else could I possibly do? At that point, I was just desperate to try anything. I started looking up ketogenic diet, being able to get yourself in ketosis, and what benefits ketosis could have on your body as far as digestion goes. I come across this girl who was also just quitting Beachbody, and she found these exogenous ketones. She didn't have digestive issues, but she was just talking about how they were really beneficial for her and all these other different ways. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's kind of hand in hand with what I'm looking for already. So what do I have to lose? I'll try it. I ordered a 10-day experience, and this is after weeks of stalking this chick, first of all, and just researching these exogenous ketones just in general, because anytime I come across something that sounds like it's going to be a miracle worker, obviously it sounds too good to be true. I don't want to buy into that. So I get my ketones in the mail. I open up my first packet. That day, it was Maui Punch. That night, I could not finish my dinner. I was so full. It is great with satiety, and I learned that very quickly. I go right to bed. I fall asleep right away, which generally in normal times I am a great sleeper, but at the time I was not going through a great patch. I was dealing with a lot of like mental not mental issues, but my mental health was not the greatest. to put it short. And I was not sleeping that great because of that. So for me to actually fall asleep right away, that was huge for me. I sleep great. I wake up the next day on my first alarm. Now, I am that annoying person who sets 10 alarms because I can't wake up. So for me to wake up on my first alarm was shocking. What was even more shocking was the fact that I actually felt like I had a good night rest. Like I felt refreshed and I felt energized and I was just ready for the day. Again, at that point in my life, I was so drained from so many different things that I was going through. That's when I started going to therapy. I had no energy. I am not a nap person at all. I like to be busy and I like to be doing things. And for me, a nap is wasting time. It's not wasting time, but my psycho self makes myself convinced that it's wasting time and I should be doing something else. I could be doing something productive. I was coming home from work and I would fall asleep and I would take a nap until like 9 o'clock at night. Totally not me, but I just was so drained. I had no energy. That's where I was at. So I kept with it, kept taking it every single day, and I stayed on half of packets for my whole 10-day trial. So 20 days I was on half packets because I, having digestive issues, was terrified to set something off and end up living in the bathroom basically. So take half packets the entire time, still noticed great results. I had so much mental clarity. I didn't have any brain fog. I was able to actually concentrate and focus way better than I was. I noticed that my bloating was very much decreased, which for me is huge because, like most women, their stomach is their biggest insecurity. And seeing how much my stomach shrunk in just the first 4 days, my pouch went from being a blob to like a little bump. If you don't know, I can be insane about cookies and my sugar cravings. And for me, at this time, my sugar cravings were extremely minimal. I didn't want to eat the house down. I didn't feel hungry all the time. I didn't want to constantly be snacking. Again, great with satiety, always feeling full, never feeling hungry. I won't say never feeling hungry, but way less than I did. I am someone who is very anxious. I felt so much more calm, so much more relaxed, so much more confident. This is really when I started to make random videos. I was not consistent on YouTube at all, but for me to make a video of myself and upload it on the internet for strangers to watch, that is like completely opposite of who I am. I am very shy. I don't want to talk to strangers. And now here I am uploading videos every single week. This truly is something that just really helped me get out of my shell. I still get anxious, of course. I'm still human. But I don't feel like it's my every waking moment, like I can't function. So during my 10-day experience that ended up being a 20-day experience, I stopped taking my Peppermint Oil. I stopped taking my medicine because I didn't need it. I never had a flare-up again. Since the day I started taking ketones, I have not had an IBS flare-up while taking it consistently, period. My energy is better, my bloating has gone down, my cravings have gone down, my energy has increased, my sleep is better, my digestion obviously is better. I ended up losing some fat, which in result ended up in some weight loss, but I have not been perfect. Fast forward to today, that's when I first started. 4 years later, I'm not freaking perfect. I have not taken it consistently every single day. For the most part, yes. But there's 2 periods in my life that I can really think of that I just kind of fell off the handle. One of those being COVID, which I uploaded a video talking about. Our lives were completely flipped upside down and I just was like lost. I was not taking great care of myself. I totally got off track. My digestion started to get a little not so great, and I was trying to figure out what I did that was possibly different. Why is this now happening? Because I was doing great before, and I noticed that the one thing I was not doing, besides eating like a trash can, was not taking my ketones. So I start back up on those, goes away, I'm fine. I'm not saying that it's curing my IBS because A, legally I can't say that, and B, it's not meant to cure, diagnose, treat, blah blah blah, etc. any sort of disease. I mean, please talk to your doctor about this. Don't just take my word for it. I'm just a random person on the internet who has had clearly a lot of success with it, but the only other time that I was inconsistent with it is 6 months ago when my brother passed. My ability to take care of myself went out the window. I did not care about myself. I did not do anything that was of a benefit to myself. I felt like trash and I wanted to treat myself like trash. As messed up as that might sound, that's how it was. So I was very inconsistent with taking them, and I gained a lot of weight, not just because I stopped taking ketones, but because I ate horrible. I was binge eating so bad, and luckily as of about a month or so ago, I've really been able to kind of get a grip back on my life and pay attention to how I'm treating myself and really make a conscious effort to be kind to myself and really take care of myself again, and I'm starting to come back to normal. But I can't treat myself like trash for 6 months and expect myself to go back to normal in a few weeks. I did gain 25 pounds and I'm not happy about it. I'm not excited about it. Obviously, I'm the biggest I've ever been in my entire life, but like I said, I've never treated myself as badly as I did then, and I could be angry at myself, but honestly, I'm just grateful that my body, myself, kept myself alive and functioning through those times. So I'm grateful for this body for getting me through that, because that was definitely the hardest, darkest time of my entire life. Do I think that they're worth it? Absolutely. Do I think it's for everyone? Talk to your doctor first. Are there parts of your life that you could greatly improve from taking ketones? Abso-freaking-lutely. There's so many great benefits to them, but you have to do what's best for you. And for me, to this day, I still never found anything that's been more helpful than this. And not having to deal with my irritable bowel syndrome symptoms is something that I am incredibly forever grateful for. Again, if you have dealt with this, you understand what I'm saying, but not having to constantly fear and be embarrassed about not being able to control my body, even if I'm doing everything right and I shouldn't be having a flare-up, but for some reason today we just are. Being able to not feel like I'm controlled by my anxiety, I'm grateful for. Being able to just be more myself. If you knew me 10 years ago and you knew me today, I'm like two totally different people. And the amount of confidence that I've had from not having to worry about those things and actually just live my life, I don't have any other words for it, but I'm just grateful. So that's me then. This is me now. I still love it. I still take it every day. I take one packet at lunchtime. I've never been someone who eats lunch, so that is just the most convenient time for me. If you have not watched any other of my videos talking about ketones, I have an entire playlist talking about all different sorts of things that you might have questions about. If you still have questions or want to know anything else, please let me know down in the comment section and I would be happy to answer them for you. I absolutely would not continue to take something for 4 years, if it was not beneficial for me. And I'm just happy that I found it when I did. I always so much appreciate your support. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are not already. Give the video a like if you enjoyed this, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.